Okay.
But we missed you. Come over here.
Yeah. We learned the Shulchan Aruch with the more from yesterday.
Yeah. It's not gering gesugje. I feel bad.
This is the hardest one.
I feel bad, but
Shabbos is the
I tell you what.
This is the reality. Because we do.
No, but you're still gonna get. But yeah, this is really.
This is not mission reality, Shabbos.
It's not like we were learning the other day. We learned that Rebbe's the thing with Rishus Rambam, the Rambam.
Right.
Every Erev that's built today is built on. Do we have Rishus Rambam? We don't have Rishus Rambam. Do you need Shishim? We don't have Shishim.
This is where the old.
So even if we didn't go, me and you are going to start building just to understand the Yisoidus. You need Shishim Ribu. You don't need Shishim Ribu. There's every street, at every city, toll booth. A little bit, what Moshe Feinstein had gesagt, what the Rebbe had gesagt, man hat a bissel im Kopf, what it is. It's a tough. The first Dafke, you should know, after 9, the Daf Tes gets a beautiful sugya. Daf Tes is about Mincha, which is very negay, about things you're allowed to do, not allowed to do before Mincha.
Shabbos.
Every day, Mincha.
Oh, every day.
And then goes into a lot of practical things in Shvisas Kalim, Amir al-Nochri. Just the first. Right.
Person need to learn the
Hilchos at absolute Shabbat.
Because this is not you over without him,
And the end of time, you're right. But Kal Yikosh or whatever is it.
So why the Rambam didn't said to learn Beta Bchira?
He wanted you should learn everything.
Right, but before that, he said for Shabbos, it's before everything.
Hilchos Shabbos is before. Because it's Sefer Mada, then is Ava, Zmanim. Zmanim is right away. Yeah.
But when you wake up in the morning, go to.
Yeah.
And he has the biggest one. Shabbos is the biggest one.
And you know what? And Shabbos is like the Rambam. It's like every Pedic is like 3.
Yeah. And
every
the
Pedic
so long.
The halachas are so long. Every Pedic. It's unbelievable. How the Rambam was able to. How he was. Right.
Human being cannot.
Right. Can't.
Human being cannot put in his head so much information.
I asked Rabbi Eisenkopf about Torah when I used to learn that we learned the Rambam. I said, when the Rambam has time to write about refuah, about this, he said, when he was in the bedroom. Because you're not allowed to write Lashon Kodesh in the bedroom. So you see that, about refuah, about this.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
True. The Rebbe learned languages in the Bible.
Yeah, for sure. But
what is it? The dictionary Milon. And learn by how the words. And learn around the circle. And the Rebbe photograph now. That when you look at the page, that's it. Like I went to a copying shop.
More over there too.
Yeah. It's not.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
Human cannot do it.
But like there's the Lashon from the Rebbe said that he knew Rabbanim in little towns that no one ever heard of them. They were smarter than Albert Einstein.
Wow.
I'm learning now.
The Rebbe wrote learning to be student free.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is not true.
It's cholesterol free. You get it for free, the cholesterol.
So diabetic.
Forget it.
That sounds like
Test.
Kufiyat test. Okay, very good. No, can't understand Kufiyat test.
can't.
No. Much deeper in. Seven Shin. Oh, you're doing Shin Mem Hey Sif Yud Aleph. We're holding Shin Mem Hey Sif Yud Aleph.
Shama.
Yes. Yeah.
Daf Reis Samach Zayin.
Seven Shin Mem Hey Sif Yud Aleph. So this is the mamish sugya that we're learning now. A few dalochas we're learning today, we'll learn next week, but whatever. This is B'chlol is the Gemara that we're learning. Sif Yud Aleph.
What's that?
You know what? I'm sorry. Sif Yud Aleph last year, last week. Turn the page. Yud Beis. Tafresh Tamaches. Tafresh Tamaches.
The voice of heaven.
Yeah, you know what? Let's go back to Yudalef. Let's read it a second time because it's a very important zip. Ezer Rishus Harabim. What is Rishus Harabim?
In Yerushalayim, before Kodesh, not Kodesh Kodashim, before people go oil regel. It's a called. Before the Kodesh. If they build it, before Chassid, when they dig down, right, like a couple feet down, they see it's wide, very, very wide.
Right.
So not only people, horses and whatever could go.
Right. It seems like there was a straight line. That Chazal say, Yerushalayim Milamalam Del Tzaseh Nolad Malayla. It would be a problem. So
But
a little bit.
The width that for the street, for the
Yeah, it seems like it was a very wide street. Right.
The Chafirot.
Right. It seems like, like where the coast, exactly, where the coast Lamarav is here and the whole world goes like this. If you go underneath, that there was a wide here, there was very wide, right.
Horses to go back and forth. And
Right. And probably the gates were here and here on the two sides.
yes, the float, it's made in a way that the float should, you're coming in, go out, and
Yeah. It's unbelievable to go
it
there.
was engineered very, very well.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about the people coming with horse and buggy, but also axe and sheep and this. So even if a human take, I don't know,
But they needed the place.
2 feet, a cow is another feet, and a sheep is another feet. So one person is already 5 feet. 3 and the family bless. It must be huge.
It was big. Yerushalayim was a beautiful city. It was Masois.
If you think about physical, how much they take a kevis and how much take a cow and how much take a, and all this, everybody comes to go bonus.
Right.
So it's thousands of thousands.
It's beautiful to look to see that, like it was when people came to Yerushalayim, it was impressive. It was like, wow.
And then when you learn the Gemara, how they cash with the sheep and Asher Yerushalayim God, it's like really parade.
Yeah, it was
When they came Shalosh Regalim, millions of people,
right.
and they had rooms.
Yeah.
Everybody
Not
sleep.
Sarah Makom.
Where everybody sleep, where everybody went to the mikveh, where everybody eat. To prepare the food. Think about it.
That's when
It's
they
not like
walk
today. Today
they
we
walk
have
into
fridge.
Bet HaMikdash. Hundreds.
But today you have a fridge, right? Today you have fridge.
Right.
Over there, you took a cow, you shake it. By the way, you need to
Eat.
wash, put on a mangel, make on fire, and that's it. The tanurim that you have is.
It's not smell.
But think about hundreds of thousands of people doing it.
It was
We are the garbage man.
It's very hard.
there's no shaila that there was a big like just like yeah. It was a
And then you
big
have borot for water, because you need to save water for all this sleep. They need to wash. And take a shower.
And what it said, לא הפילה אישה מימיה,
Misa-
smell.
yeah, right.
See, woman pregnant never miscarried for the smell of the meat.
And there's not as vub, but how could that be?
And the fire, smoke
Going straight.
Coming in and seeing in one shot.
Right.
Wow.
Hey, Rishus Harabim. Where's the Rishus Harabim? We're on page Tov Reish Samach Zayin. Give me a book.
Thank you.
Tov Reish Samach Zayin. Sif Yudalev. Hey, Rishus Harabim. I'm going back to this just one sif because this is just very, very, very important. It's at least Tezayin. That was the road in the Midbar. It can't be a roof on it. There's no wall. If the road goes from straight, the skip the brackets. The loss is not all balayla. If the doors are not locked by night. If the doors are locked by night, as long as the road is tezainama wide. Amen. And other roads that are open to those roads. And it just said, And there is a second opinion that says no, you have to have shishim ribim oivrim boy bechol yom. Spoke about it last week. Walking, driving. Do they have to walk mamash in that street? Because mashma in the Alter Rebbe later in Siman Shin Samach Zayin Siv Zayin, where it's mashma as long as there's 600,000 people in the city. Like today, most cities do have 600,000 people living in the city. As long as it's mashma a little that way. So okay.
And how about a city under 600,000, significantly under 600,000, like compared to a remote city?
So then that's part of the machlokes. And then in the days of the Alter Rebbe, like we spoke about last week, most cities were that way. Cities didn't have that many people in the cities. Maybe the big cities like London, Paris. And we rely to be lenient to say that there has to be 600,000 people to make it Rishus Harabim, because we're all like Rashi, that when the Gemara says like Rashi, remember the beautiful Rishims we had from the Rebbe, that when the Jews in the middle, there's 600,000 people there. Yeah. So it has to be 600,000 people. But again, in the Midbar, when you had 600,000 people, depends what you're looking at. If there was never 600,000 people especially when they were camping in the same place. There was 600 count altogether. But okay, fine. That anyway. V'chol Yerushalayim yachmal ha'atzmai. Yerushalayim should be machmal.
I remember as a kid telling my father, everybody's carrying. Why you don't carry? He said, because I don't write this word. B'chol Yerushalayim yachmal ha'atzmai. So I said, but you could carry. The Alter Rebbe said you could carry. Yeah, but at the same time he said, yachmal ha'atzmai.
Yeah, the Alter Rebbe does say that. Chol Yerushalayim yachmal ha'atzmai.
Not every halacha the Alter Rebbe said. Only this, like you're allowed to both.
And fakert.
It's very hard to understand.
And look in the bottom. The Alter Rebbe says it. It's probably the words of the Alter Rebbe. Look in the bold words. In the Ha'ora Peva of Shekain Das Gedoy, the Rishonim. The big Rishonim hold that way. That's what the big Rishonim hold. The time in the Mukim Imam Shalaniska Shishim Riboy Begemara. The Gemara never said a word about Shishim Riboy. Never said. They never said.
We're learning from the Mishkan.
Right.
From the
The Gemara never said the word Shishim Ribu. Never said that. Never said a word of that. So
our children is included in 600 Ribu, or it's only adults?
And so it's all part of the question. Have Goyim accounted, only Yidden? But bottom line is, in this opinion, that's Machmir, the road is wide.
Right.
It was made for the rabbim. It's not like if you come and say, "Excuse me, sir, what are you doing here? What are you looking for?"
It's made for.
It's made for the rabbim. It's just a rabbim. So if you're machmir, Kol Yerushalayim would be very hard to build a native.
Right.
It'd be very hard to build a native.
Ramai saying there was a Ashkenaz builder, and he himself did not carry. So people in Fachabad says, I understand. If you're not carry, that means we also don't want to carry. So he wrote to the Rebbe. The Rebbe told him, please carry, and that people should see that you carry.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Nevertheless, no,
The man is very loud. The man is
no, but nevertheless, my father still did not carry. Even
Your father didn't carry?
Even after it.
Wow.
Like, I'm not telling you not to carry, but I want to be machnaat. Wow. He had this halichon, you know this? I said, this is, you have to use it.
He didn't want to use it? That's an extra thing already.
I could hold you garter, it's the same thing. You know, one garter, for me, it's the same. I said, but the Rebbe told Ashkenazi to carry. Yeah, but I'll tell Rebbe, right? It's okay. Everybody has Meshugas.
No, it's not Meshugas.
Levan, all of us, to be Mahmirim and everything.
Not a Meshugas. Okay. If you have some roads that they get shorter at some point, you can't take like these tools that make things straight. Gets curves. שאין לכם תזנה מרפוט שסרם גמור לפי שהן שסרם ארוך שנזכץ בקטוס כמו שאר כל שסרם as long as it's in the oirich. In other words, what does it mean in the oirich? I'll make a picture. Here is the wide, and then it gets small, and it gets small, but then it gets wide again. This is called loirich. Traffic flows here. And at some point it gets small, okay. But what's the problem? L'roichev means that there is a very wide road, and then
On the side.
on the side you have over here.
Like we learn this in the Gemara.
Oh, on the side, l'roichev. So that's already
The road is going in another direction.
the other direction.
Correct.
Here, it's all going the same direction. Just in here, in one spot, it gets smaller.
Like when there's a lot of people, then people move there. Otherwise, they don't.
But here, the flow with traffic is here, and there's a side tree you could turn off. Oh, that's already different. That's already a bit different. So we say if it's going oidech in the length, okay, that's what Rishus Harabim. No, different rule. I don't care. Is how small does it get? From 16 to 15 to 14, 13 and a third.
So should have.
Smaller than that, you're out. No more Rishus Harabim. We already explained that there are those who say that we don't have Rishus Harabim. If it's in the Rishus Harabim, but it's not high 3 tvachim. We say whatever's not high 3 tvachim, it's like the earth. We had a discussion yesterday in the Gemara, but what happens if it's full of thorns or full of dung from horses,
You can sit on it. You can.
cows? No one wants to sit there. No one wants to stand there. No one wants to walk there. You want to get the shoe. You don't want to get full of from a horse or from a dog on your shoe. Okay, so the rabbim are not going there. But since it's less than 3 tvachim, that's all part of the Rishus Harabim. That's it. But it's higher than 3 tvachim. If it goes up to test tvachim, if it's more than 3 tvachim, so it depends. If it's big, dal, that's called a Carmelis. It's less, it's called a Magen Patur. It's high, exactly 10 tvachim, which is about this height. Now, people put their hand, they lean on it, they put their bags on it, it's nice and comfy, it's the perfect height. Has to be that people really like to lean on it, put their hands on it, they put their bags on it, and they use it, they feel comfortable. But if it's prickly there, for example, whatever, and no one uses it, okay, then it's not a Rishus Harabim. Less than 9 tvachim, that doesn't count. Some say from 9, not only when the Gemara said 9, doesn't mean 9. From 9 till 10, anywhere in that range, if people are going to lean on it, people put bags in it, that's called a Rishus Harabim. Once it's 10 tvachim, over. If it's wide, this size is just a yachid. I feel okay. I feel yesh b'makom k'dei l'shlim al adalat. You're going church b'kaisel klap Rishus Harabim g'vay asar v'metach dal makom p'tur. Vein emer im roim kilu nechkek min ha'kaisel b'mekayim k'shir dal.
So up to 9 tvachim, it would be Rishus Yachid.
Rishus Yachid must be 10 tvachim.
10 tvachim.
10 tvachim. Must be 10 tvachim. Must be 10 tvachim.
Below 10 tvachim.
So below 10 tvachim. So let's do the extremes. 10 tvachim. 10 tvachim. is it a Rishus Yachid? But there got to be a place that's Daled.
Okay.
Under on the ground and up to 3 tvachim. So Rishus Rabim, I don't care even if there's dung there, there's horse stuff. Okay. From 3 to 10, so the lower 9 we say is either a Carmelis or a Makom Ptur, depending on the size. If it's big enough 4x4, then it's a Carmelis. Otherwise, a Makom Ptur. And if it's 9 exactly, and people lean on it, then it's still considered a Rishus Rabim. Guma b'Rishus Rabim. If there's a hole in the Rishus Rabim, it's a little, it's a chiquito, it's a little piece that's sticking into the ground. It's just like when it's sticking out and it's not 3 tvachim, it's not counted. So it's just like when it sticks out, when it's in the floor, it's almost the same. Doesn't matter, because if you have to have dimensions of dal to be something.
Sometimes you have like a step to go from one place to the other. It's not a breach. But
Oh, steps are different.
no, I'm saying this is a guma, like that.
Well, it has to be steps go up and down to be a guma. If there's a hole in the ground, a lot of people like to put their things in and they come back to their bags to get. Even if people like to put their bags in this hole over there on the side, it doesn't make it. It doesn't make it. If it's deep 10 and it has the dimension of 4x4 tvachim, now it's a full-fledged Rishus Yachid. There's 4 walls. It has to be that the oimek is within the hilch of Dal Damas.
What does it mean? It can be a narrow ball.
No. The kefadrab has. In other words, if the goes, it's flat and then it goes
Down.
flat and it goes down up. This is obviously a boy. No one's going to argue. If we say that in here there is 10 tvachim deep and 4 tvachim wide, 4x4, 10, so it should say for sure. Well, how about if it goes like this? This is the street level and goes like this, like this. It gradual dips down, flat, and gradually goes back up. So what do you do then? So then we say it depends how gradual it is. It depends how gradual it is.
At which point it became Rishus Yachid?
There has to be that from here to here is Dal Damas or less. So if it's Dal Damas and less, and you have here.
This is a real biko.
Yeah, the imaginary line. You make here an imaginary line, and again another imaginary line at the bottom there. So from here to here is 10, and from here to here is less than Dal Damas. It can still be considered a Rishus Yachid. So here you have your 10 tvachim drop, and here you could have your 4 tvachim by 4 tvachim, and the drop, even though it's gradual, if it's within Dal Damas, that's considered
That's a very deep.
that it's deep, and there's kilo walls.
Very,
But if these would be more of a
ball.
right, but if it would be, let's say, 5 amas to walk from here to here, it would be 5 amas. So I'm sorry, you're out of business, because in order to consider this imaginary line that we dip down 10 tvachim, it has to be that the curve is less than Dal Damas. If it's, say, 5 amas, out of business.
And what would it turn into?
So we'll talk about that in a second.
In the Midbar, Moshe Rabbeinu taught Bnei Israel all these measurements, all these things.
What else are they doing?
Learning. Moshe Kibel Torah Mitzrayim, Sarah Yehoshua.
They were learning, exactly.
They need to cook, they need to clean, they need to.
Everything was
Everything here. And the Rambam says that Bnei Yisachar wrote books, They wrote
Really?
books and books
about
about the Shemesh and the Yereach. And Chachma Yova and Harishonim read those books, and we lost those books. And the Chachma Yova based a lot of their thoughts on what the books that were written by Bnei Yisachar.
Who said that?
The Rama,
Wow.
Perek Tez, Perek Yud Zayin,
That's why I say that if you want to know the Goyish stuff about this, it's not there.
הפוך בא והפוך בא וכולה בא.
Oh, we learned it just now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Sunday. Heute gumma Tezayin, Tezvav. Heute gumma the Mayin. Emavayim Mavatl Mechitzis. The waters. Later we'll talk the details of it, but the mechitzas is still considered mechitzas. If you have a pit in the ground and there's water doesn't ruin the walls. The walls are walls and the water is water. But if you have it's full of fruits, say from top to bottom. Top to bottom, it's full of fruits.
Why the Peres is Navatal Mechitza?
Why? Because you don't see mechitzas. You're looking down and you see apples.
Like you say, apple middle is wrong.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. He has a pit. He filled it up with apples till the top. I mean, it's like which Meshuggah would do it, I understand. But whatever, as I give in. Yeah. So he has a pit and it's 10 tefachim deep. And it's 4 by 4 tefachim wide, but it's full of apples to the top. So we say the apples are mavatal the mechitzas. We don't look at it as just a yochid. Had it been water would not be mavatal the mechitzas. Then I feel like the corners and it's just a yochid and can I make a sort of mislaka with the hilchos down. However, even if it's full of water, it's not so posh. I feel almost I started with the Hilchos Taladam. It's interesting. Yochim in the Reseifrim. Hella Carmelis. Kamoy Ayamim. Even though Menatoid, it's really considered a Yochim, but the Rabbanon made a certain chumrah that should be a Carmelis. Shane is Yochim in the Reseifrim. I feel almost I started with the Hilchos Taladam. However, every Malay, Kamoy Shimon will explain soon. Wouldn't let a cock should be Carmelis. Ain't so a puddle. Wenn zur Rechlaim im Muka Sora mit der Hilchos Yoiser mit der Aldamas oder einer ist ja auf bekennen ist Sarab. It's not really a full Rosh Sarab. Alpha Bisharab Mahalchim boy the fisher call Mayim Shehin Amukim Sora ein neuch laal beim cloud. This is any pits that are in the ground, even if Minatoy it's Rosh Yochid, or even if it's Minatoy, even if you think it might be Rosh Sarab. Why would it be Rishus Yochid? Because it's deep 10 tefachim and it's 4 by 4. So Minatoyra this is Rishus Yochid, but because it's sitting in the middle of the Rishus Rabim and people walk past it, jump over it, and walk past it. So the Rabbanon,
people will walk on it.
So the Rabbanon will be machmir to say even though really Minatoyra it's Rishus Yochid. Rakak Mayim Rishus Rabim Sheinu Mekasora. If there's a pit. And it's not 10, it's 5 tachim deep. Say it's a small pit. It's 3 tachim, 4 tachim, 5 tachim, 5 tachim, yeah? Full of water, it's a puddle. People don't like to walk in puddles. What do you do? If there's full of rain and you can't get around. Those days didn't have drainage systems all over the streets. It drained the streets really nicely. In the winter, you had puddles all the way. They weren't paved also, exactly.
Yosef HaTzadik Tzvi, was Asarat Tefachim? Without the Nechashim, the Akavim?
Probably. The Kakman said, I'm sure I saw a bottle. Ooh, the Gabriel should have him to give him a rab and hollow, but I'm sure should have track. Yeah, I feel like I'm not the Shem Halchem Batoichel and Dalgum, and Saram, give Sharang Boykin Boy, but every Malon, maybe I keep it. Oh, he's a Keshem, I give him about Saram. So therefore, this is all bottled to the Rishus Sarab. And again, it's not 10 Tavachim deep. If it was in 10 Tavachim deep, would have been a Torah, would have been a Rishus Yochid. But the Rabbanon, whatever, the guys until 3 days of Carmelis. But this is a real Rishus Sarab because people step into it or step over it. Geen daarvan monnigen naar de kaak al bij Rishus Sarab. Je should have boiken by. When many walking in it, have a kaak. Geen Rabban boiken by. Een Rishus Sarab. But if the Rabbim don't, the poor mamish, it's messy. No one likes to walk. Everyone walks around it. Okay, then it's not a test, then it's a Carmelis. If it's less than, the only time it'll be Rosh Hashanah is less than 10 tvachim deep, and people actually walk over it or through it. They take big boots, they put on the big boots, and they walk through it. Average Rosh Hashanah. Yeah, sorry.
Is not, once it's not 10 tefachim, that means people could still walk in it. 10 tefachim
Right.
is already so deep. That
It's so
people are
deep,
going-
it's not
You
shaykh.
want to go further, but people
It's a
are-
yotzim nakol, right? Average Rosh Hashanah, men Rosh Hashanah, melad v'sar tvachim, b'mal masar tvachim, makom betur, then never shenam atzoyim. Anytime that's higher than 10 tvachim, it's a makom betur. Can go on pnei koitz like Rosh Hashanah. If I throw a silly putty, we said yes, I throw a silly putty and it hits the wall. Devela shmeina, the Gemara calls it. Devela shmeina. It's the wall. Higher than 10 tvach, it's a makom betur, and never shenam atzoyim. Can pnei koitz like Rosh Hashanah, me'ezed av anid b'kshem mekol, men hava mutar, lo hitz m'shem shem siyachim. Davar mesuim can go in chusha because roish amad, if there's a little hole there. So then, imein by dal the fiddle lamata masar tvachim makom betur. If it's less than dal, even less than 10 tvachim makom betur. Yesh by dal gam lamal masar ein makom betur. Shus yachid gmuragu. Then it would be a shus yachid. Churim shebek salim. If there's holes,
Wait, I'm a little confused.
if it
So more than 10 tvachim, it's a makom tour.
if it's tiny hole, but if it's high 10 tvachim, and the hole inside is a wall that goes up, and there's a wall that goes up.
Okay.
Here there's a roof, and over here there is a little hole in here.
Okay.
It's higher than 10 tvachim.
Uh-huh.
If this hole has 4 by 4 tvachim, so 100% Rishus it's 100% Rishus because this space has the height of 10 tvachim.
And it's 4x4.
That's 4 by 4. That's it. You got a Rishus here. If it's less, it's a makom patur because you need to have, even though the height is good, but you need to have two ingredients. You need to have the height and the depth.
Okay.
You need to have the height and the depth.
Okay. Oh, so the example you were talking about with the slant would be a makom tour, right?
Well, the slant, if we're talking about going in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So depends on the dimensions. To go back, it depends on the dimension, but it wouldn't be a Rishus. Here we're talking about it wouldn't be a Rishus Yochid because in order for it to be Rishus Yochid, there has to be a drop of 10 tvachim. Again, 10 by 4 by 4.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going down slanty, the slant has to be in less than 4 amos
Yeah.
when you go down.
And it could also be Rishut HaRabin, right?
It could end up being Rishus Harabim, yes. Okay, where we're holding. Churim, Shebek Salim, Klav Shusharam, Imam Filosh Lefnim, Imam Rechavim Gavoy, Imam Gavoyim Gimel Tvachim, Shusharam, and then Lefnim the same. Yesh Bahem Dal Valamatim Yud Tvachim. If it's lower than 10 Tvachim and the Dal it's Carmelis, Lamalim Yud Tvachim, Shusayachid. Imam Dal, there's no Dal. Hemokim Tur, Ben Lamayl Lamatzar, Ben Shelamat Matzar. If the space is not Dal, there's nothing you can do. It doesn't have a chashivas. It's always a makom p'tur. It's not really a makom. If it's dal, and it's high 10, so you have walls that are 10 tvachim plus dal, you got yourself a rishus hayachim. If it's less, you can't have a rishus hayachim here. So what do you have? A carmelis. Here's a carmelis. What's considered a carmelis?
So I'm a little confused. What's the difference between a makom patur and Rishut HaRabin?
Oh, we have rishus harabim, rishus hayachim.
Yeah.
Then you have carmelis and makom p'tur.
Yeah.
So we'll say soon. Carmelis, you're not allowed to carry from rishus hayachid to rishus harabim.
Yeah.
From rishus harabim to carmelis. With these three rishuyas, you can carry from one to the next.
Yeah.
You can carry from one to the next. Not from rishus harabim to rishus hayachid, rishus hayachid to harabim. Carmelis, we don't know what it is. We put all the chumras in it, so you can carry from the carmelis to rishus hayachid. Can carry from Carmelis to Rishus Harabim to Carmelis. Makom P'tur is
Carmelis to Carmelis.
yeah, you're allowed to. But Makom P'tur is he's bottled to everything. You could take from the Makom Ptur into the Rishus Yachid, and Rishus Yachid Makom Ptur. You could take from a Makom Ptur into the Rishus Arab, Shem the Makom Ptur. You could take from a Carmelis into the Makom Ptur. You could take from the Makom Ptur into the Carmelis. Now there was another discussion that we had that you can't do tricks. You can't take from the Rishus Yachid into Makom Ptur and from them into the Rishus Arab. That's a separate thing. Chacham don't like you to do tricks, but technically that trick would work. Technically, that trick should work.
But then they probably Zera,
Right.
somebody's going to see it. Oh, I see he carried from Moshe David to Shlabim.
What does I? You make tricks, and the people look.
They don't
They-
know.
They don't know. And say, oh, you can carry from Shusharam to Yochid. Here's a Carmelis. What's a Carmelis? On the one hand, we don't have a rabbin there. It's not made. It's for the rabbin, and also there's no walls. V'zeu ka'armelis. Remember yesterday I said there's three in the Rishonim what Carmelis means. It's interesting. The Alter picks the one from the Rambam. Rabbi from the Rambam Pirish Mishnayos. Ka'armelis. Ka'armelis. Like a almona. The kaloimer ka'almona. She no loy besula v'loy nesua. This woman, there's a besula. She never got married. Okay. There's a nesua, a woman that's married. Almona is sort of nishta hin and nishta her. She is not a besula, not a nesua. Kach ze eini mukef mechitzes k'rishus yochid. Ve'enoi hiluch l'rabim k'rishus rabim. We said yesterday there was another two pshat on what the word Carmelis means. We said that the Tosfos brings from the Yerushalmi that Carmelis means karvelach, gerish karmel, eine loikar veloilach elobeinani, which is almost like this, like eine besula, veine beula, eine lach, veine yavish, nicht dahin and nicht daher. You're not there, you're not there. You're not here, you're not there. But Rashi and Dav Gimel said that Carmelis meant yar v'karmel. Ya'ar v'karmel. Ya'ar v'karmel.
Yeah, you have probably 600 animals.
Right. We spoke yesterday that there are achronim that have a chakida. What's the pshat of a Carmelis? Is it that Carmelis really is a Mokum P'tur? It's a Mokum P'tur. Min HaTorah, because Carmelis, the Chachamim invented the Carmelis. Min HaTorah, there isn't four Rishuas l'Shabbos. Rishus Arabim. Rishus Yochid. And there's Mokum P'tur, and Mokum P'tur is no man's land. It's not Rishus Arabim, not Rishus Yochid. It's bought to Rishus Arabim. Huh?
In the day, it doesn't matter.
Right, but versteht allein, if it's not Rishus Arabim, not Rishus Yochid, it's bottled to either one. Chacham came along and they said the big chiddush Chacham made was the Carmelis. The big chiddush they made was Carmelis. So here's the question Achronim ask: is that the Carmelis are a Mokum P'tur, but Chacham made some chumras to it, or no? Chacham created a new category. That's what it sounds like. Arba Rishus l'Shabbos. There's four categories: Saram, Sayochid, Carmelis. Okay. So we also spoke about that a little bit. Rashi a little bit sounds like Yar v'Karmel. That Carmelis has a special hagdorah for. With the Rambam, the Tosfos says it nishta hin and nishta her. It's like, Chacham is saying you're not here, you're not there. What are you? She said, I can't say. It's nishta hin, it's nishta her. Well, you want to be machmir. Why do we want to be machmir on you? Because people can get confused. Some people might identify you as a Rishus Harabim, even though you're not, because you have similarities to Rishus Harabim. And some people might identify you as a Rishus Yochid, even though you're not. So you know what? We'll make all the chumras on you, treat you like both. This is the way it really sounds in the Alter Rebbe. Mokum zeh mokum p'tur min HaTorah. Min HaTorah Carmelis a mokum p'tur shemuter l'hoitzel hachtis metorchel Rishus Yochid. Rishus Harabim. Yeah. So In relation to Seyachid, he's bottled to Seyachid. To Shusharam, bottled to Shusharam. Mneshu bottle it for Kol Echad Mehem. He's bottled to either one of them. So if you want, you could take from the Shusharam to a Carmelis, back, Shusharam, back, no problem. Ben Sheish Baydal, Ben Shem Baydal, Chom Chilka Beneim. Chom said, Shem Baydal Dal Makam tu, Sheyesh Boy, Umakam Chosh, Veni Bottlatzim. So the Shus Ben Atzma called Carmelis. They decided to give it a special thing on its own. We call it a Carmelis, special thing.
The Mokum also is a special thing.
Yeah, but Mokum Patur is as nicht, it's a shmata. And the Yerushalmi say insufficient is a shmata. No, insufficient. Insufficient. A person to ask you, what's your position?
On between.
It says, I'm between.
Between jobs.
No, I like it. You say, what's your position on this? So are you a Democrat? You're a Republican. Well, what are you?
You can be in the middle.
So, so anyone that's on either side in the argument is going to get angry at you. Whoa, man. Insufficient is a shmata. You never heard this word? Insufficient, it's a play on words. Insufficient in Yiddish means I'm in between. And also insufficient means sufficient. Sufficient means to wipe. So there's a saying in Yiddish, a play on words. When they ask you, which side of the argument are you on? You're red team, or are you with the team of red or blue? So a guy says, I'm insufficient, I'm in between. So when they get angry at you, they say, hey, insufficient is a shmata. It's a play on words. Because insufficient means in between, and insufficient means sufficient. So how do you wish? Mit ashmata. So he's saying you're ashmata. What are you? So the Carmelis is insufficient. That's why the Mokum Patur, the Carmelis do really, but the Mokum Patur is insufficient. Ain't it Rishus Rabbe? It's a shmata. He's a shmata. He's one big shmata. So he's bottled to Rishus Rabbe. He's bottled to Rishus Yochid. He's one big shmata. Yeah.
Liberal.
It's almost like the sidewalk on the street.
Liberal. He claims to be a pacifist, but he really is a liberal. A lot of liberals claim to be pacifists, but they're not, because they're very passionate. They're very aggressive and passionate about their claim of being pacifists. I would say, like, a lot of frum Yidden are pacifists when it comes to politics, right? Because the gates are nicht on. Was machen azoi, what is it long Gemara Rashi Toisus? If you have a way to police the city, you want to do it this way, or the other way, do it the other way. So geht mir nicht an. Ich kann sitzen lernen Gemara Rashi Toisus, ich bin zufrieden.
The singer Frank Sinatra has a song, Do It My Way.
Some people,
that's not sufficient.
That's not sufficient. Some people, they have to stake out a position. Okay, so that's really a Mokum Patur. Mokum Patur is insufficient. It's a shmata. You want to put him to the Rishus Yochid? No problem. Or put him to Shusharam? No problem. Really, the Carmelis should have been the same thing. Chacham said that because the Carmelis to some people looks like Rishus Rab, some people looks like Rishus Yochid. So we'll put the chumras of both on it. To go and mock
A Carmelis, could that be like the porch outside? Let's say we have the porch outside. Could that be a Carmelis? No. That's
our porch could be, theoretically, but our porch has a few problems why it can't be a Carmelis. Number one, it's high, 10 tvach. So we said good asek mechitzas. Whenever you have walls, 4 walls around, you pull the mechitzas up to the sky. You pull the mechitzas as if it has mechitzas up to the sky. Then it has a roof over it. Then it has mechitzas around it. So that, forget about it.
And it's also more than.
What is the Carmelis today? Today we have a Carmelis today over here. We don't have a Carmelis.
Well, if you believe that the only way you have it is at Abim, there are plenty Carmelis.
The lawn outside is a Carmelis.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right, the lawn outside, especially by us, that you have that you have the hedges, so it's not easy. Naniach even there's there's a lot of people walking, but it's like Keren Zav. It's exactly because for it would have to be crazy packed on Avenue J for a person to jump over the hedges and to go onto the lawn.
Even it's not a little. It probably is.
Yeah, but for it, it's not easy to.
People don't cross it. Only if it's like
Right. So that Taka Carmelis, you're right.
I remember you saying it has to be below 4 tvachim, like 3 or less.
No, 3 or less. It's just like in the floor.
The floor, okay.
These edges are not really less than 3. They're a little more substantial.
Didn't you say that about a Carmelis that it has to be 3 or less?
No. Anything that's in the Rishus Rabbim that is 3 and less, it's as if it's flat.
It's flat. Okay,
it's
got
flat.
it. It's flat. So what would be the definition of a Carmelit?
Like someone just said, the front lawn of our thing. People are not. There's not the flow of traffic is not there.
Okay.
But it's Daled. Place is big. People can go there. There's no 4 walls. There's no roof on top of it. That's a Carmelis.
It's all private property.
Huh?
It's all private property. People just can't walk, with their trespass.
No, sure. That's why it's a Carmelis, not a Shusharam. Or there's Daled. And there's mechitzas, but the chitzas are not high 10 tvachim. Tell how much she is by Daled Gavay Atzara, v'chitzas is by Daled Gavay Amak Atzara, v'chinyamim v'nacholm sh'av shein amukim Atzara v'mayim and vatal mechitzas. Even though it's 10 deep, makomokim ema oimak Atzara mislakim at achiluk Daled Damas. Like we said, it drops 10 tvachim. The problem is that you got to walk 5 amas to get to that drop. It doesn't drop sudden. It's very gradual. It's over 5. Walk of 5 amma.
That's how you could drive a boat on Shabbos. So you're an Agoisha boy. You're in the same shoes all the time.
Right. Well, so the boat is. So the after Mukim Asara.
It's no longer Rishut HaYachid.
1 second. It's not a Rishus HaYachid because of that. So there's also a Carmelis. There's a lot of places that are called a Carmelis. Here's the chidush. Here's the delicate point. There is a Carmelis that's really a makam p'tur. Really, it's a makam p'tur. We treat it like a Carmelis. However, there is a Carmelis that really is one of the 2 Rishuyas, but we're being machmir on it for some reason. For example, if there is a pit in the ground that is really 10 tvachim, really it's just minatoida, it's a shus hayachid. Pasarik matechel shus rabim kay mekomokim medivrei sefer in shus hayachid la Carmelis. Hoyel of over them all my chutz sam al ma'ala kilo lo yom achitz kwal. Because people jump over it. So come said,
even though it's a pit,
and we treat it like Carmelis.
I believe it's a bridge over in you if there's nothing there.
Right. The chena bikesh he daina sodas zruas ektuish enim office get the gavay yut fachim chen kenen zavas smocher shus rabim. Like we said yesterday, that you have this guy has there's townhouses that are built, and people walk past. Here's the street people walk. When it gets very packed, some people walk in here because it's just.
Like I said, man,
really, really, because you have your 3 walls, so they should say okay. But because people go in there, so Chum said, this is not. We don't want to treat it like we should say yachid. Geen kennis uit zijn Jerusalem kan me was als gimel machitz neem beim lege kan bedoel wees psachel Jerusalem geen Jerusalem shmakura shana demel digla midbar in Carmelis. All those are a Carmelis. So exactly. Sometimes you have a real rishus hayochid or a real rishus rabim that gets treated like a Carmelis. But the mother Carmelis is really a Mokum P'tur. mother Carmelis is really a Mokum Patur. That's why I said that's why the Alter Rebbe brings like the Rambam. It's not a Basula, it's not a Bula. It's a Nishtahin, it's a Nishtahed. It's not cold, it's not hot. It's not this, it's not that. Carmelis, it's like an Carmelis.
In this they give it the nickname Mokum 2 and Carmelis. Like, don't mix.
Right. Okay, I wanted to make it clear.
Right.
So the real Carmelis, that's now we can go back in the Gemara and yesterday and say why we said that a Canon Zavis is Carmelis Domi. That a Canon Zavis is similar to a Carmelis. He's not really a Carmelis, because the real Carmelis is he ain't a Rishus Arabim, he ain't a Rishus Yochid, he ain't hot, he ain't cold, he ain't a Psuli, he ain't a Bola. Nishtahin and Nishtaher, it's a Rishon as Ashmata. So, but sometimes there are spaces, like we said, the pit that's in the Rishus Ram, the people that filled with water, the people, it's 10, 4x4, really Rishus Yochid. But people step over it. So Chom Machmer said, even though Menatoida, this is the Rishus Ram, this is Yochid. And if you throw from one to the other, Chayev. But you can't treat it really like a Rishus Yochid inside. Same thing, a Canon Zavis, the Canon Zavis, which is 3 walls around it, there's a row of townhouses, and one goes a little in. So there's 3 walls. Mina Torah should have been a Rishus Yochid. So, but a lot of people sometimes end up in here. So really, even though it's a Rishus Yochid, we're going to call it a Carmelis.
That's why sometimes in like a really highway, people make a air over it, even though it's like a Shalavim, but they turn it to a Carmelis.
It's a big problem, as we said about this.
But they do it.
If it's because if it's a real Rishus Rabbim, this is what we were talking at the beginning of the Shir. We said that Yerushalayim el Molan del Saseh rules by Alayla. You have to have Nadalas and Nanolas Balayla. Mega see him? Okay, let's go.
All right.
When the door closes both sides, what does it make it? That even in the day it's not out.
But it's a Rishus Yochid. But it has to be be'emes. By night.
Close at night.
They're closed. It's a machlokes if they have to Yochelin or
Sit him. You see when the
What Mishnah is it finishing?
Say to the Ezekiel.
The Eibusher shall help, and whenever it comes to worldly things, we should be a Mokum P'tur. We don't care. We're pacifists. Republican, Democrat, Divek, Democrat. When it comes to Torah and it comes to mitzvahs, that then we're not a pacifist. Then we're not like insufficient. Then we have a strong position. Our position is Hashem emes v'Torah se'emes.
Amen.
It's our shit. So
The theme is on saying Ezekiel, the last area. I'll connect with the Rav Shir, talking about Rishuyos. The Ezekiel also has to do with Rishuyos. And the remez is that the 73 Rakim in Ezekiel, 73. 73 is Ein Gimel, Og. Silva Choni Amago, Og Ugo. He made a circle. And he dived into Hashem. Every person has a circle. It's just a yachid. Even if it's just a rabbin, you have Dalaram. Everybody has a circle. And if you damage someone, right, Ezekiel, or you take something that belongs to someone, you're going into his circle. So there's a connection with the share. So the last Mishnah also has to do, even in Inyonei of covered. Kohen Levi. Kohen for covered goes before the Levi. Levi Yisrael. Levi goes before Yisrael. So they also have about this in Maseches Gittin. What do you do? What happens if there's no Kohen? Could you call a Levi or not? So most places they don't call Levi. I've seen places they what?
They don't call a Levi become Kohen?
They skip. If there's no Kohen, they go right away to the Yisrael. But Yisrael or Mamzer, Yisrael gets called before Mamzer. Mamzer and Nosin is from the Gevinim that they fooled Yeshua, and he made them chayt ve'etzim. They became servants. They were gerim, and then they made a gzeir. David made a gzeir on them that they're not considered like regular Yidden. and us in the ger, the ger le'evan l'shuchra. Amosai, when do we say kohen, according to the Mishnah, kohen l'levi, is mantra kulin shavan, they're equal in chokhmah. So even the Mishnah is in Hayam Mamzer Tamachacham, Kohen Golam Aretz, Mamzer Tamachacham, Kohen Golam Aretz. That's what the Mishnah says. The Maisa, we give a coin even if he's not a Tamachacham before Tamachacham. Allah, we do like this. So, Hadran Allah said in Ezekiel, Hadar Chalon, Dad Allah said in Ezekiel, Dad Chalon, Najman Allah said in Ezekiel, was Nashim Menon, Amen, Amen, also. Allah said in Ezekiel, Hadar Chalon, Dad Allah said in Ezekiel, Dad Allah said in Ezekiel, Nashim Menon, Amen, Amen, also. Harno Adinoi had different just Kofino, for example, basis on Kulon on Nachu Tzetzoinu, with Tzetzoi, Tzetzoinu, with Tzetzoi Amcho, basis so Kulon Yode Shemech, and they so Sekashma, Moivai, Mei,
Sunday morning as a bris.
Careful, man, the Unishkak, the Devon, Kisoni, Pakatoi, and then Kecho, Amen. Amen. Sell but my leave never know, Shano. Santa Helki, Yeshua, based on Israel, Santa Helki, Yeshua, Ani Mashkin, Behemashki, Ani Mag the Retire, I'm still the Matela. Ani Alma Behema, Many Mal, Kabo Sako, M. Council. Me was the Rasha, and he was the Khayal Bosch, you might all enter the Rasha, and she don't know, see many of the also, never know he was saying, no, she was Zatana, Santa, and she has a hospital swam of the Simon Lumo Lame, her college, more last of Kai's go, they saw to herself, I was close called to know him at Milk Common and Scorn, says he was watching my there's
my shoulder. Yeah.
There's not to Ella, the Queen, born make a show left down for Isaac. So he said, the Mecho, see the question is crying, I can't so it's more, I know it's maintaining what's more Shalom. Kaddish, we have a vision?
Yeah.
Amen.